Well, before we jump into the season finale, why are you late?
Oh, my wife had a thing.
Oh,
Yeah. Came home late.
wives.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Should the box be red? Is that good?
Yeah.
The box is red is
Yeah.
good? Okay.
Just means
Yeah.
I had that selected. Yes, the box being red is okay. This is a book I read.
Sure.
You also read it.
Sure.
We discussed it.
Sure.
And then we watched a movie.
Sure.
And now we are, of course, watching the television series Day of the Jackal on the Peacock.
Watched, past tense.
We finished it. We watched the last ep. I loved it. That being said, let's start with what made you the most mad. Where did the episode start off?
Not in a boat.
Not in a boat.
on dry.
Fast forward right to dry land.
On dry land.
Yeah, they went right to dry land.
I was a little bit bothered by that. I said I was going to be bothered by it, and then we go
And then
right
immediately
into it. We're all the way back on terra firma. The car chase was dope.
The car chase was dope. They had some good fun. It towed the line of he didn't have a very good plan. That being said, he did come up with it in like 3 days, but he didn't have a very good escape plan.
The plan was good enough to get off the boat
He got off the boat.
somehow. But yeah, from there
Got off the boat, got in a car,
devolved.
still had his gun, which if they had checked the boot of his car and there hadn't been a gun, would they have just let him go?
Kind of seems like you get rid of the gun. I don't know. You drop it in the ocean, it goes all the way to the bottom. There's a lot of ocean between.
Yeah, I know he loves the gun and all, but you know, you just let it go at some point. Especially at this, this is your last job.
On.
He said this is his last job. He promised his wife this is his last job, and then they'd go live the life they wanted in.
And you took him at his word there.
I did. I took him at his word.
Yeah, agree.
Where did he say they wanted to go move?
Oh, he listed off a couple.
Listed a couple.
Cayman Islands was one.
But not home. You'll notice he didn't list home.
Well, I think he was doing places with those good banks and no
the good banks,
extradition
no extradition
treaties. I think that was his hashtag process.
And he also, Bianca's onto him.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, he's got to leave.
Because of his
brother-in-law, his dumb brother-in-law's
test run
bar
for
idea.
wobbly gun.
Hashtag wobbly gun. I like that. He finds some campers. This is after the car chase. He's got to get out of Croatia.
Well, he flips his car to avoid a kid.
That's right.
He
a
doesn't
kid
plow
comes out
into
with
a kid,
with
so
a
he
soccer
flips
ball
his
and he
car,
flips his
he gets
car.
Dragged out. He steals the phone, but of course it's in town where there are other phones.
There are other phones, and there are people on balconies who have already witnessed this
Actually, have
accident.
Their phone out. He gets to a campground, tricks an old
couple,
you know, Winnebago or some equivalent,
taking him to a hospital.
There is no hospital. They're going to the border.
They're going to the Monrovia?
Montenegro.
The Montenegro border.
Monrovia is a city outside of L.A.
That's fair. They do not make it to that border. They end up turning around because there's clearly some high security level stuff going on there.
Not around, just to the right.
They just turn right
Just
before the
right.
border. They turn right, which isn't in its own right suspicious, but they go to the right. We have an intense kind of standoff with the husband, the RV husband, and him, where he thinks he's going to kill him. At this point, I'm not sure he's going to kill them.
I was very surprised that he killed them because he's going through a whole thing. He's talking to his wife on the phone. He's feeling very upset. He's feeling very obviously frazzled.
He's a little frazzled, but he's also like, I can see the finish line.
And
I did the job I needed to do.
A moral face turn, such as
Yeah.
one can do after doing a premeditated
Murders
murder.
for money.
But he's trying to break good in this moment, I think. So it came as a genuine surprise when he did murder.
It did start
Those
with
two old
Winnebago
people.
wife stabbing him in the back,
Which isn't nice.
literally with a knife. And then he gets in a struggle with the husband, and the husband gets shot and deaded. And then, of course, he kills the wife because they wanted to go together anyways.
And then he makes it to the airport.
Then they just fast forward again.
He walks across the border, walks to the airport, gets on the airplane, and then he's
Heading back to Spain.
pretty much en route to the house.
During this time, Bianca has retired because at the beginning of the episode, she's talking to her boss, the head boss, and she's like, "You're done. This whole thing's over. You messed up. I need you to be a team player and go sit back at your desk." And she's like, "But I saw this news article about this incredible shot from the water that is basically identical to the one that they just used on this guy." And then she, of course, figures out that it's obviously personal because who just kills this like random dude, this random mug like boss. And so like I think this is where he lives, and she is right. And then we find out that her boss, is the baddie bad, is the mole, and she talks to like the Secretary of State that we saw earlier, who also is on the rich people's side, not the Jackal, but working for Mr. Dance. And he basically says, "Well, we need to keep her in the pocket. Like, we don't want her to quit. We want her to go try and kill the Jackal, and then we kill her." They're basically trying to tie up all the loose ends.
And a couple of loose ends there. Number one, they've gotten UDC's boyfriend, husband, fiance,
They got him to
love
drop.
interest to not release
Yep.
River. So that is on
So they've won.
fairly permanent hold. And then the other loose end that they are going to tie up is to kill the Jackal and the handler.
Yep, and the lady who hired the Jackal. So their method of doing that is hopefully to hire an assassin for the lady, and they're hoping Bianca will be able to take out the Jackal. So they send her. Well, she goes to the house, Bianca's house, where she's now had a happy family reunion, and convinces her that she needs to go. And the family's like, "Yeah, you're going to go. You're an idiot. This is over. This was a fun reunion. I think we're done." Is basically that what they're thinking, which is too bad because she basically gives up her family at that point because she can't let this go. Her and her, I want to say past love interest, the like body security guard that she keeps taking everywhere, they go to kill the Jackal. They do a little investigation. They find out who was with the guy who was shot. They find the brother's name, not by Bianca demanding things, but by her buddy security guard being a nice person, which sometimes gets you places. They follow that house. They realize that this rich British dude lives in this house. They go and they stake out the house, and they see the wife, and the wife starts packing her shit up and leaves because she's had this conversation with the Jackal, and the Jackal's like, "I'm not coming home. We're going to go live here. We're going to go live here, wherever you want to go, but we got to go. And we're leaving your mom, and we're leaving your brother." And at this point, she could care less about her brother, but I think she actually still cares about her mom.
Either way, she packs up with her son and just leaves.
She goes
not
to the
with
secret
mother.
room, loads a bag with money, grabs the baby, cries a couple of times, gets in the car, and goes.
And that's it for her this season.
We're not going to see her again this season.
Is in the wind.
We can flash back to his handler. She rightfully understands that they're coming to get her. She kind of sets him up, like says, "Hey, we can meet here in my room." And she can tell that an assassin is who came, so she basically books it, packs up her stuff, and disappears, and warns the Jackal that they're coming for him. I think she's like, "What? I know what's going on." The Jackal goes home. They see him home. They enter the house, And who's in the house?
With the brother.
The brother-in-law shows up, super
Shows
drunk,
up,
very upset about the fight he had with his sister.
makes a little bit of a mess of things.
Kind of screams a little bit. He's got the Jackal's old gun. He turns on the lights. And
Because spy guy to spy guy, if you're making that level of noise and tomfoolishness, you're going to give away your position.
yes, you are not creeping around very well.
That's inevitable.
And then he gives away his position even more by turning on the lights. And
that's another.
our spy characters shoot him immediately.
I read almost every Spy versus Spy in Mad Magazine. I knew those were bad moves.
Those are not moves they teach in spy school, probably because he didn't go to spy school. He went to...
Well, he just took the online course.
He got the online credit for España University online.
But this alerts the Jackal. He hides off in the
he hides in
room.
his secret room.
And
Bianca finds the bedroom, but does not
shout
find
out
the
to
secret room.
The cameraman. They've got the shots of the two of them basically face to face, although there's a mirror
There's a
in
mirror
the way.
in between. They're looking
And
at each other, but looking at the mirror.
He knows that she's right there.
Yep.
She shouldn't, but you see in her face that she sees something is going on.
She
here.
knows she's close.
Yeah. And they're in different one's in red and one's in blue, and it was a fun camera shot.
It was some good art college theater.
But she doesn't tap on the glass. She moves on.
Nope. She moves on. She
And,
doesn't do the old lighter trick to see if it's a two-way mirror.
Kicks off an alarm. The Jackal pops out, and now we've got our showdown.
Yep. She kicks off the alarm to kind of shake him out. She's like, hey, he's got to come out. If we throw off the alarm, then the police will show up and he'll have to leave. So he comes out. We get a little face off. Her security guard friend immediately gets murderlated.
They have after that conversation, a verbal conversation that mirrors the the staring at each other from the mirrors, where
Yeah.
they both basically say they're doing this because they like to win. And then the Jackal sneaks around, and in what I thought was maybe the most surprising thing of the whole season, flanks her like the Velociraptor in Jurassic Park. Spoilies. And then shoots her dead.
I thought he was going to go to like 4 more places. I thought it was going to be like a funhouse mirror, which, you're alluding to in the Jurassic Park, like mirror of the Velociraptor scene. I thought he was going to do, a couple different spots, kind of keep talking to her type thing.
Oh, I'm talking about when he says "clever girl." 'Cause he's looking at the one.
Oh, yeah,
clever
yeah,
girl, and the
he
other one
does.
Comes in from the side.
Yeah, so he
Were
talks to her
surprised
upstairs.
that
I
she
was
died?
surprised.
I was a little bit shocked that knowing that they were going to have a season 2. If it was just a one and done, I don't know that I would have been quite as surprised. But knowing they're going to keep it going for at least one more season, I was a little taken aback that they would take out the main character like that.
It definitely flipped the script on the book because the Jackal is the one that dies, obviously.
Mhm.
He does kill someone. He kills the partner, which happens in this one. Though it's not just a random security guard that he grabs off the street. I was surprised. I loved it, though. I was in so much shock. That was the rare moment in the show that I was surprised by something.
Yes.
Even when he shot our boy, CDC, EDC, EDM.
Yeah, EDM is correct. that was surprising. I did not expect that, but killing her was, I think,
I
the
wasn't
most
sure if
shocking.
he was going to get killed, but it was alluding to that, especially because he got his second try. They already did the book and the movie thing. Now he's, if they did 2 tries where he misses and they're doing a second season, that would be a little surprising.
And she seems dead. We're not.
No, she's out.
Dead.
And
She's red.
he shoots her right in the throat.
Yeah.
If she lives, I'll be upset. I'd be pretty upset if the show did that. I would be actually pretty upset. He makes a run for it, gets absolutely T-boned by some assassins, I believe, is who I think it is. The people Mr. Dance sent out to go after them.
Mm-hmm.
And then we just skip right to him walking out of like a water taxi somewhere in Europe. And he meets up with our handler lady, who's clearly going to be a big presence in the next season. And she basically hands him over a file of who owes him the money.
Yeah, who's coming for him?
And who's coming for him.
And he says, I'm gonna get those guys, but first I got to get my wife.
I'm busy. I got to go get my wife and my kid. I've got to find something. And she's a little miffed by that because I don't think she knows what he's talking about because she doesn't know about his family. But he's like, I got to find something first. And then she goes, I don't know how you survived that, which obviously they're just going to allude to. It's probably going to be the first episode of the next season is going to be that car chase on, I assume, or that scene when he gets T-boned. I'm still waiting for the scene where his army buddy comes back.
Yeah, we did not get him.
It would be egregious season 8 Game of Thrones level of dropping plot points if they do not bring that guy up or allude to how he dies or whatever. They're falling out or not falling out. If they just had this character, showed him explicitly saving him, did an effort to give him some sort of characterization, even though he was, in my mind, not a very fleshed out character. But he's definitely designed to come back at some point. And my assumption is that it was him who helped save him at the end there.
Yeah,
but I also thought that he might show up earlier to save him. But I'm still waiting for that shoe to drop. And they'll impress me if I forget all about him and then he shows up.
Overall, good season?
Yeah, I'm thumbs
Bad
up
season?
on.
Thumbs up.
Yeah, I think it is a grade B good show. It's the best show Peacock has for sure.
The best show Peacock has.
If you go Peacock Originals.
What about Poker Face? I'll take Poker Face over Jackal.
That might be a better show. You might be right. That's a good procedural detective show.
Yeah.
I think this is a higher production value show, but I think you're right. Yeah, the writing is pretty damn clever on Poker Face. It's a lighter show.
I love the action pieces. I love the car chase in the last ep. Obviously, the shot in the one before. When the show is on, when the show is not meandering around, when the show is focused and delivering, it was thrilling.
How many eps do you want the next season to be?
Not 10. 7.
Okay. I get behind that. I'd say 6 or 7 sounds about right. Unless they find a whole lot more to go on. But now we're not limited by the book or the movie at all. He's just an assassin named Charles Calthrop.
Yeah, but I don't know that I was that impressed with some of the creative liberties that they took. So hopefully they find a little bit more inspiration being so untethered to the source material.
What if the entire second season is the past?
That'd be fine. I'd be fine with that.
Well, I'm happy with it. I enjoyed it. Next week, we're going to watch the 1997 classic, The Jackal, that Frederick Forsyth demanded his name be taken off of.
I did too.
And it is called Jackal based on the movie Day of the Jackal, is what they say, because they had to. Because Frederick Forsyth was like, I don't want anything to do with this. We're going to go down to Scarecrow. We're going to rent some physical media. We'll bring it back. Apparently, there's an alternate ending in the special edition.
Oh, interesting.
So that might be fun to check out. And then we're immediately going to talk about it.
We should remember to check to make sure it's in stock.
I already did. There are 2 copies, 1 DVD and 1 Blu-ray.
You know, we're still a week from now.
Yes.
So a double check.
I think someone listening to this podcast is going to go just check them both out.
I think we should be like Aaron Rodgers and do a discount double check on the day of.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think I'm going to leave to go to Scarecrow and not check first. That being said, their online library is pretty bad at keeping track of what's there, I think. That might not be true, though. We know their organization there is something interesting.
We know they're doing their best.
They are.
As are we all.
I love them. Well, onwards, upwards. After next week, we're going to just start talking about random TV. me.